In this video, we're going to talk about building self-esteem, creating the confidence necessary to naturally and consistently be a great salesperson. So let's talk about the sales persona. This is this kind of imaginary personality that people take on sometimes when they're looking to sell. So they might talk normally as they're talking to you in conversation, and they're about to start selling something, then hey, they start talking like this, and they go into this different mode, and now they're trying to persuade you, and you can kind of almost tell the shift. It's not very natural, it's kind of false, and most people can spot it a mile away. Some people who sell like this will sell a lot of stuff, but they're horrible salespeople by the definition of actually providing good value or good service for their clients. They constantly focus on the latest clever way to say something in order to persuade clients to buy. They do sell stuff, but many people choose not to do business with them a second time because they don't like how they were handled. Very often their promises don't match the reality of what they're really offering. This is a type of salesperson that many people can't stand to be, and they refuse to be. They just don't like this, they don't want to be this. So the sales persona is me trying to be who I think you want me to be and telling you what I think you want to hear in order to sell you what I want to sell. So it's really the whole premise is pretty much based on kind of a game, a manipulation, or falseness. There's a saying you might have heard before called fake it until you make it. And that may work in certain things, but it doesn't work that well in sales. You want to be able to actually make it. People who use and abuse the sales persona are trying to sell something that isn't really true. It no longer works to fake it till you make it in the business world because word gets around very quickly on the web and through word of mouth and just conversation and Facebook or whatever it is. Word also gets around fast when you do make it and when you do have good stuff to deliver. The best salespeople are authentically great and deliver authentically good stuff. They persuade their clients powerfully with actions and quality rather than words and promises. In the long run, making it and really providing huge value is far easier and much less work than faking it. So now let's talk about self-esteem. Self-esteem is a measure of how good and confident you feel about yourself as a person. Self-esteem measures how good and confident you feel about yourself as a salesperson. People who feel great about themselves as salespeople consistently outperform those who don't. Not big a surprise there. So self-esteem is really equated with how good we really are, because we can fool other people, but we can't really fool ourselves. If we're really good, we're going to have the confidence and the self-esteem, and if we're not that good, or if we don't know the product or something's missing, we're not going to be able to convince ourselves, and that's going to show up in our lack of self-esteem. So here's the self-esteem formula. The actual value you're providing times the percentage of value seen by the prospect equals the perceived value. So the actual value is what you know your solution is worth to your prospect. So imagine you have a lottery ticket worth $1 million. You have the winning lottery ticket. What would you be able to charge for that? How confidently and powerfully could you sell that knowing that it's worth $1 million? I mean, maybe you couldn't charge more than $1 million, but you could certainly charge a high amount for it. How high would your self-esteem be about that ticket? And this brings up a huge point. Sometimes self-esteem is not just related to the person, it's also related to the product. So in this case, we've got a lottery ticket that we know is worth $1 million. We're feeling pretty confident about selling that. Now think about how would that confidence change if you were no longer sure the ticket was valid. Let's say you thought maybe that the date had expired or you were too late to turn it in. That might show up and you might say, gosh, I really don't think I can charge so much for this. Maybe it's not valid. I don't know. How would that affect your ability to sell the ticket? Think about how less powerful you'd be because of that. And how would your confidence change if you thought your prospect was not eligible to redeem the ticket? So again, if in some way you find out that, number one, you don't know anymore that it's worth that $1 million, and you're not sure that it's worth that to the prospect, all of a sudden now that actual value in your mind, what you know it's worth, changes significantly, and so does your self-esteem with regards to that product. So you can still have high self-esteem as a salesperson, but then not feel great about a particular product. How would that affect your ability to sell the ticket? Well, obviously, you really wouldn't be able to do as good of a job knowing that it might not be worth what you thought it was worth. So the second variable is the percentage of the value seen, and that is what percent of the actual value you help your prospect see. If you were shy about telling the prospect the value of the ticket, how would that affect the perceived value of the ticket in the prospect's mind? If you didn't tell them it was $1 million ticket and you said, hey, I've just got this lottery ticket I want to sell you, the person might say, okay, I'll give you a couple dollars. That's what a lottery ticket costs. No big deal. What if, on the other hand, you were really pushy and you were insistent and, hey, you got to buy this ticket, you got to buy this. You think about how that would change the way the client perceives things. Or what if you didn't know what they needed or what they wanted? What if you're just pushing something that's a solution that you think is a solution and they're not really interested in that? How would that impact the ticket's perceived value and the prospect's willingness to pay? So if you start acting really with a lot of pressure or pushing, or on the vice versa, if you just kind of back off and you're really kind of shy and timid and you're not really communicating the value of that, the prospect's not going to see very much of it. And so in their mind, the perceived value is going to be a lot lower. And so the perceived value is what your prospect believes your solution is worth to them. And again, remember, the self-esteem can vary by product. We can be great selling a certain product, and we can be horrible selling B. So let's look at some must-sell, must-buy situations when the pressure's really on. What if the person you loved most was in danger of dying? And what if you knew the only way they would survive is if they took a specific green pill? How persuasive could you be with them? Or if you want to make this a little less dramatic, for those of you who have kids, when you're trying to convince your kid to take medicine and they're sick and they don't want to take the medicine, how persuasive do you get? It's that important. They don't really understand it, but you're looking to be real persuasive to get that across. If they believed you, and if they wanted to live, going back to the green pill, how much would they be willing to pay for that green pill? So if they really understand that they need this green pill to live, they're going to be pretty open to paying a high amount for that. When you know your prospect's needs and wants so well that you create real solutions to their biggest problems, you're not going to need to sell a thing. They're going to gladly pay you. So let's look at increasing your self-esteem right now. Think about what's the one biggest need or want your prospects and clients have right now. What's the most important thing to them that you can deliver? And on first thought, you might say something like, oh, well, quick service or price or something like that. But remember, they're coming to you because they need to take care of something. It might be something very on the surface level, like, hey, they just need to get the insurance so they can buy their house or buy their car. Or there might be something that's deeper, that they want to make sure their loved ones are taken care of, or they want to make sure they're getting out of debt, or that their mortgage is paid off, or that their mortgage is current if they're behind on their payments. So think about what's their one biggest burning desire, most important need right now. How can you make it so you know you're creating huge value for them? So chances are it's going to have something to do with that biggest need. How can you help them with that biggest need so that you're creating huge value for them? And third, how can you make your prospects and clients know that you're creating that huge value for them? Because if you're creating huge value but they don't know it, it's not really helping you so much, and it might not end up helping them. And then once you do that, post your answers below in the comments section, and again, see what other people put in there and see what you can learn is how to do a better job for your clients and to create more value for them, which will lead to you getting better feedback from them, which will lead you to being more confident and having more self-esteem. And this is one of those cyclical things. The more confidence you get, the more you sell, the more confidence you get, and it just builds on that. And vice versa. When you don't have the self-esteem, it goes the other way. So do this exercise now, create that extra value for your clients, and post your answers in the comments section below. Hope you got a lot out of this video. Just a reminder, if you go to insurancesalesmastery.com, you can sign up with your email, get the most current coaching videos, presentation slides from many of the videos you see, and other free tools to help you and your team members help more people, sell more stuff, and make more money. So again, this is Wade Galt with Insurance Sales Mastery. As always, we look forward to helping you and your team members connect personally, to live powerfully, and sell deeply. Thank you.